Ladies and gentlemen, freaks and geeks, welcome to the show.
Welcome. Welcome. We are back after
We've gone all miniature for some
hiatus.
reason. We should be big. No, we've gone tiny. We should automatically be big. Fuck you, StreamYard. No, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. None of these. No, it's fucking me around with this stupid auto settings. So it's made a complete mess of us. Hang on, try this one. There we go. That'll do. Fucking StreamYard sucks. Always changing the settings. It usually automatically puts you in some kind of window and it made us all stupidly small, even though there was nothing on the screen. Anyway, fucked up my intro.
Yeah, you changed us to micro scale StreamYard.
Micro scale. It was a special badger scale.
Now we're like big old, 1/6 scale. Couple of hot boys here looking at
like side to side. Hot tech. What do you think of the new Marvel Legends? I don't fucking care. I'm not collecting them anymore. I've got plenty of them.
Not collecting them anymore as of the recording of this episode. Things can always change though. In collector
if
world.
they do a single card release for that Psylocke, I might get it. But the 2-pack with the Thanos, that's what Badger got, and like it's the same figure they've released 3-4 times now, and every time it's been scalped to hell for like crazy amounts. Now that 2-pack new sells for 120 Australia. That's retail, and I'm like, that's more than double what I want to pay for a fucking Psylocke. Like, no, thank you. There we go.
Thing, if you only want the Psylocke,
I've been trying to get one for like 7 years. I finally have a cable. I finally have Bishop, but it's an animated one with the short hair instead of the long Lorenzo Lamas man hair, like one from years back. I finally got it in Mega Red. But yeah, no, that's not the topic of this week's show. It's not about fucking Marvel Legends, but we are looking at Mego from the 70s, like specifically a Mego 70s catalog. It's one of the reasons that got me guys on here. And before we get into the Mego chat, we've got some, because this is a catalog specific topic talk. We've got some other random weirdness I found when I was looking at other old catalogs. Things you never knew existed since 1914, Christmas edition. This is like a old print mail catalog or thing you'd get, I don't know, or mailed out or in the store or whatever. They had all sorts of random stuff. Like front page, we've got Wizard Mask, highlights of WrestleMania 1s through 14 or whatever, and Y2K Millennium Edition, the Silent Bomb. Like, there's a little bit of Y2K fever. So this is like late 90s catalog.
Oh, this is nice. Very nice. I'm getting memories of when we discussed the that Dinosaurs magazine and the skeleton collection there, but now we've got the actual proper wooden ones.
Yeah, I found
really nice.
Apart from the crazy mailaway catalog, we've got a couple of cool things come out here. Also found this other one that had dinosaur skeletons, like some of which I had as a kid in the 80s. Like I had the T-Rex, it's on the left page, in the middle there. Bottom right, I had the Dimetrodon. Bottom left, I had the Plesiosaurus. Or it might have been, or the Plesiosaurus in there twice for some reason. But anyway, I had those ones. I might have had the Pteranodon as well, actually.
Yeah, I think, the first page, they're the larger size ones, and then the second one is the medium size. So they probably repurposed some of the large ones. They scaled them down.
I've never actually read it because I don't have time to actually read the bit at the top that is large and medium.
They're really nice, though. Really, really nice. And it's
these were like the original. I don't know, because this was like early 80s. These ones are where it came out, and these were in the stores for years and years. And I had a few in my bedroom as a kid, like birthdays, Christmas, whatnot. They were cool things to have. They weren't too complicated to put together. I've never been into model kits. I've done 2 or 3 in my life. Didn't enjoy them at all. But these are not too hard to put together. No harder than doing these skeletons are no harder than doing like a Pokemon Bandai kit or a Gundam kit, whatever. They're very simple, don't take long, and they're quite beautiful, display nice. And since
there's
the
nice
80s up now, they still exist. There's different companies have done them. I can walk up the store right now. There's still skeletons like this.
That's the beauty about dinosaurs, folks. You can't really copyright them. You just You can keep banging them out under any label, really, as long as it doesn't have to.
I don't know who made them either, but as far as I know, these are the first ones of this style that's continued for like 30 plus years. You can still get ones where it's this plain wood, you know, it's plain wood where it's like a it would be like in a big flat pattern, and they'll punch out.
These are the type of toys where, like, you know, a modern trendy TikTok crunchy mom would be like, "Don't buy your kids toys with like electronics. Buy them natural toys made of wood." But they're acting like it's a brand new thing that hasn't existed since forever.
Yeah, they do have, like, when I go to the Kmart and Target, you got all your action figures and wrestlers, the Marvel dudes, and you got like the Bluey and Paw Patrol kind of like young to mid-range stuff, and then you got the young toddler stuff, is usually in a different section. And I'm walking past on my way to the kind of boys' toys action figure aisle, but I still look at everything because sometimes you find like random shit, like in all the young kids found like this crypto dog from that Super Pets movie. If I hadn't looked in like the young toddler section, I would have found that. And you do see like wooden toys there they still sell, they're still around of various descriptions, and for like, you know, kids under 7 that are big chunky things they can mess around their hands and not break them and smash them about. They just do still have good wooden toys and wooden cars and whatnot.
These ones are interesting because they're more like a silhouette than a skeleton.
Yeah.
But still pretty cool. Probably the type of thing that looks cool if you were to like shine a flashlight against a wall with it and cast a big shadow.
Yeah, they're really well designed. And I've seen stuff like this sometimes, the silhouette style. Sometimes you'll see stuff like an art gallery or museum, like out the front, they might have something that's purposely done with this kind of shadowed cut style that does create an actual shadow when there's light, you know, light or the sun moving.
Yeah, it's the type of thing where you'd almost see these days. You'd get it as a full kind of kit almost, where you'd get a light with it, essentially just for the purpose of making these cool shadow displays on the wall.
But I do
nice
know
little assortment of animals as well they have at the bottom.
And some kind of caveman looking dude, Picanensis. Looks like he's got his ass hanging out, which ties in very nicely to this catalog we've got here, things you never knew existed. The Christmas edition from the Johnson Smith Company. There's even an address on here. It's got Bradenton, Florida. There you go. All questions, catalog requests, customer service, call Monday, Friday. So this catalog obviously was popular and ran around for a long time. All sorts of crazy, weird, random stuff. Used to get lots of catalogs like this, but this has to be one of the best ones I've ever seen. We've got a glow-in-the-dark skeleton tie, laughing skull candy dish, a skull money bank, Titanic costume, just a guy in a sailor thing with the Titanic life preserver, portable voice changer, which looks a lot like what you're wearing. Are you wearing your portable voice changer right now?
Yeah, I'm wearing my portable voice changer right now.
It does explain our mini-sode, what happened the other week when we've had technical difficulties for several weeks running. You've had kaiju attacks over there in Ireland causing blackouts, causing all sorts of knock-on effects like PCs not working here. But it made your voice change in that mini-sode, that weird one that went up last week. We got surfer wig and long hair wig with knit cap, Halloween eye candy, Hooterville high costume, a suspiciously buff, relatively buff-looking man with notable goatee beard and kind of Buff Bagwell kind of facial hair, who's grinning suspiciously in this drag costume. It's the highlight.
Yeah, it's this whole page, like my eyes are kind of darting from one thing to the next. Like I don't know where to look because everything's like I keep getting drawn back to the surfer wig and long hair wig with knit cap.
Or you can just grow your hair.
Just grow your hair, yeah. Or
grow your hair, or if you want the big long things, people just go to those special like ladies' hair extension shops that have all the crazy long dreads and extensions and all that.
You know, the bob teeth up the top there. So that's just like every British man ever born, really, with those teeth.
The big book of British smiles. Yeah, and you get a fairly decent Ghostface. What? He's Ghostface Killer, but he's not the Wu-Tang one. He's the Scream movie Ghostface Killer, with the Scream mask. That one's pretty easy costume / cosplay because it got unofficially those masks came out a lot back then. Like you'd go to the Halloween section and they'll $2 shop, and you'd find those masks because you can't really copyright it because it's from that famous painting, The Scream, by whatever Renaissance artist I forget now.
And it's a nice, cheap DIY as well. Once you have that mask, all you need is a black hood and a black garment. And you can pull it off pretty easily. The skull bank is just a money bank, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think it's got a little coin. It's clearly just a like a mold or whatever, a nice looking skull. But then it's like, oh, let's cut a hole in it. That's a money back there. It's just nonsense. We've got a whole bunch of Halloween costumes, and originally when we did this episode, it was going to be closer to Halloween, but we had difficulties, so now it's on a different week. But these head mask costumes are actually really bloody well nice. They're just basic rubber, but you can tell they've all been they look like they've come from actual kind of movie practical effects cast or whatever, and then obviously you've got the cheaper version and generic rubber or whatever for the catalog. But some of these are bloody impressive for the 90s masks.
Yeah, but the deluxe Wolfman at the very top there looked very, very impressive. Really nice. I'd say they were kind of they were being careful with how they named some of these as to avoid copyright. So what appears to be Godzilla is named Fire Dragon. So we're keeping that nice and generic there. It's not Godzilla, it's just a Fire Dragon. You can't cover. Michael, you're home. Dun. I'm Laurie Strode. I'm your sister, maybe, depending on which version you watch these days. Very, very handsome. You've got the Bill Shatner like jawline going on there.
That's actually my Bill Shatner mask. I got it for $20 on eBay for a Halloween episode that never happened. And it's very, very hard to breathe with that. And it's already like 30 degrees in Perth. If I left it on, I'd be passing out or possibly dying.
Just see you slumped over on the chair in a few minutes' time.
Yeah, just a true life horror story. But yeah, I was bloody impressed with these masks in the 90s. Like you got the Bill Clinton spitting image one and a Godzilla, but the one on the bottom left, this like skinless man, that one was so impressive. I made that my Facebook profile for the month for October because like it looks like a real Clive Barker Hellraiser, not Pinhead Hellraiser, but when the skin's like coming off someone, or the old Meat Man and Predator.
Some interesting stuff here.
Yeah, we got Batman,
an electric rat in a trap.
We've got a Dead Man Rising, looks like a 70s zombie man sort of dude. I Want to Kiss Your Neck, custom vampire fangs. Possibly Adrian Adonis as a vampire. I don't know. He's a very interesting looking fellow there.
Yeah, definitely. That gorilla suit, man. I can't.
It actually looks like the crossover. Always it was a Toho who did the King Kong Godzilla first crossover. Was it when they're in the puppet suits and all that? Like from the 70s, it actually looks like that because King Kong looked really bad in that movie.
I don't know, for some reason I can just picture like a Florida car dealership somewhere with a guy in that suit saying, go bananas over our great fields.
And he's like spinning it around, bargains, duck cars. We've got Bear Buns costume man, just a hospital gown with this guy with his ass sticking out. Like, why would you want to wear that?
Looks suspiciously like former Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. I don't know why I'm getting that.
Chicken costumes, not bad for generic costume. Buck teeth, the Mad Mother shower curtain, avoided copyright for Psycho, but I think that's actually quite good. I would happily have that as a shower curtain.
Yeah. Some of these before our overpriced Force FX and Black Series replica masks and stuff, these Star Wars masks actually look pretty decent and affordable.
They actually look like the best stuff in there. Most of the other stuff's kind of like real chintzy looking. Then I'm like, oh, they actually look like quality Star Wars stuff.
That Yoda mask just reminds me of that bit in E.T. where they go trick or treating and you see the little kid in the Yoda mask. It looks probably the exact same make and model of mask, judging by the time period we're dealing with.
But yeah, there's a fun catalog with horrific bleeding candle, skull watch, electric retina trap, and then some real highlights here. We've got up the top left, the two-headed skeleton. So one head's not good enough. The sound-activated shaking and talking coffin. Kind of looks like an old Atari or something, just a big box. You got Jukesa has a die-cast car set, which look legitimately like decent things. Magnetic jewelry. But then we've got the deluxe ninja costume. Authentic reproduction of traditional ninja outfit, the kind that didn't exist before the 80s because they made this shit up in movies, particularly in America. Made to high quality standards. Not a cheap imitation costume. Cut and fit is excellent with very little shrinkage. Includes jacket with hidden shuriken pocket, pants with waist, knees and ankle ties, two-piece hood, and gauntlets with hands and forearms. Double overlapping seams, gusseted crotch for kicking. 100% on black color only.
Only the black color. I can't get my red ninja costume.
That's a shame. I was just unpacking the Marvel Legends. I got 3 of them. What is it? The hand red ninjas.
I wonder what the Elvira Collector's Edition video was like. Probably only like 45 minutes long.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's just a bunch of like boudoir glamour shots, but in video, or I'm like, you know, like panning around glamour shots is my guess what's on there.
Oh, this is interesting. So I'm looking here the description. So Elvira goes on the road and discovers her past. Interesting. I wonder, is it semi-documentary-ish, possibly?
Well, if you don't go too far into the past, you'll discover vampire. Be careful.
Yeah, it's a very random assortment of like the Dukes of Hazzard die-cast car set is just so random here to appear on this page.
It's like the high quality item, and there's all this other junk, and it's like you've got something good with the junk. You've confused the catalog.
The sound-activated talking coffin though would probably be pretty cool.
Put your Undertaker figure somewhere.
Yeah, have Paul Bearer standing next to it.
But yeah, I'm just gonna. I got to read out this Hawaii costume one, then we'll move on to our Mego stuff. We've got this weird like man in drag with some kind of Hawaii luau, that like his ass hanging out. It's like the second or third thing in this catalog with like some dude with his ass hanging out for a particular reason. You got no Halloween luau will be complete without the full moon outrageous outfit this outrageous outfit provides. You'll really turn heads and maybe a few stomachs too. It's like this. I can't tell if the guy actually has a mustache or he's got like a fake mustache that's like on there. Costume includes flesh-colored tights with soft molded buttocks on. It's just like a fake ass. And then it
has to be a fake arse.
Yeah, revealing plastic grass skirt, eye-catching midi blouse, 2 genuine plastic lays, elastic waistbands for tight grass skirt, fits adults up to men's large. So they're emphasizing it's for men. It's like too bad if you're a lady and you want to dress in the moody costume.
From a time where, you know, it's more of a hee hee ha ha to do drag than any type of a lifestyle. I just love the expression, the
look on the face of the guy, like that guy. If you roll back to the other one, the Hootable guy's like he's totally selling it. He's totally selling. Oh yeah, this is funny. It's a cheeky costume. Got the crazy. It's like Marty McFly's not expecting this when he travels back to the future. Yeah, that's that bit of nonsense, and then we get on to our actual main feature attraction of the Mego catalog, and this one is from the 70s. Don't ask me what year. I want to say it's like mid to late 70s. Mego did a lot of different toys, but we're going to see some Dukes of Hazzard, some Little Rascals, and Marvel and DC and other stuff in here. You might even see an exclusive Mark Lennon Mego figure there as well.
Ooh. Well, look, if Goji Tron is watching or listening to this episode today, he could probably give us a pretty accurate year, or at least
sure,
you know, estimation of time period. So Goji, if you're out there, if you see this or you hear this, let us know when you think that this particular catalog was published. I have a brief question, quick question before we get into this. Why is it pronounced Mego and not Mego? Like we don't
I don't
pronounce
know, but
Lego
you wouldn't
as
want to confuse
Lego.
it with Lego. That would be my first
Yeah,
thought. I've never
or
known why it's
Lego.
called. I've never known why it's called Mego and Amiga.
I'm going to release a brand of plastic blocks that can fit together to
Yeah,
make things. I'm going to call it Lego.
because there is Mega blocks and there is Lego blocks. So like, I'm thinking that's you don't want to confuse with them. You've also got an exclusive Johnny Mego figure here, and for some controversial reason, they've added the beard onto my Pac-Man T-shirt. I don't know why. They cut and pasted my
Interesting.
beard onto the Pac-Man. It's very strange choice.
I'm sure there's a copyright worry there somewhere. Maybe
Yes.
even though they show Pac-Man kind of on your T-shirt on the card.
The funny thing about these weird images that like it's like smooths out the wrinkles. It makes you look like a replicant, pretty much
Yeah,
like a Blade Runner Rutger Hauer or something. It's just like you're like you, but like 20 years younger. Plus, you look like completely just like you're made of plastic and smooth and mechanical.
I'd love to have that figure. Not that I'm some type of egomaniac who thinks he needs to have action figures of himself, but I do enjoy the novelty of it.
Yeah, it's fun. Like I did the other one the other week. It was like so because it will let you now some of these AI image things. Before it was just a text prompt description, which I type something in and I'd type features, and now you can upload a reference image, so you can actually get something that mimics your facial features. And I did, but other ones I did the other week on the X-PAC, where I uploaded the image of the X-PAC figure, but I just changed the colors and themes so it would look like you. And that merciless one. That was just a text prompt. These ones, there's no photos for these.
Main event, John. Pedro's #1 fan.
My missus said that apparently that image I was balding too much because I'm not actually balding. It's just like normal hair when I cut it back.
Yeah, it's making you look worse, whereas it makes me look better because it gives me my nice thick
That's
full
actually
beard
what I
look.
like about it. I like it if it like make me look worse because I was doing a stupid expression and my eyes were going like that on purpose. And if it makes you look better, that's like good rather than you're like, here's an image you send to a friend and like, oh, you look like shit. And it's like thanks, John. Because I sent a bunch of these I done all those garbage fail adults ones for a bunch of like mates that are like, you know, toy collectors and that, and tried to pick something that's from their like hobbies and themes and interests, whether it's wrestling or Phil Wheelers in Japan had one of those like bicycle crashing into his collection room.
I'm just happy it's got my hair nice and red and you don't see my real life gray coming through like you do.
You've got to. The problem is if you want to do a Gogitron or a Jim Largo, it's quite difficult because it's hard to describe their features without being kind of generic. You need to have like a cool scar or a tattoo or wear some sunglasses or a hat. Then it's much easier to make a silly nonsense image of. It's almost like a caricature, you know, image of someone.
Nice artwork here for this catalog spread.
Yeah, I love this artwork, and I'd never seen this until I looked at this catalog I found on archive.org. They had various other catalogs, but a lot of them were incomplete or just kind of random weird stuff. And then it's like, oh, here's this like complete Mego catalog scans from 1970, whatever. So it's like, great, that's a fucking show. It's like, because I'm always looking for like good quality catalogs. Like Badger's helped us out and sent us a few. We've got a Biker Mice one coming up next month or whatever, like where he sent us images. But even like the Kenner one we did a couple months back, it's hard to find, other than Jurassic Park and certain stuff, and it's hard to find actual scans of catalogs because mostly they were just for retailers, not for the public. A lot of them are just gone, or they're in the hands of private collectors who are people who don't, who stay at home, and it's nice they've got them rather than going in the trash, but they don't share them with anyone, they don't scan them or upload them, or they don't want to. So a lot of catalogs, even 90s stuff that's real common, you just can't get, let alone 70s and 80s stuff.
No, for all the you know, we complain a lot kind of as modern toy collectors when things don't like maybe look the way they should or look a certain way. I have to say, like straight out of the gate, these Star Trek figures, they look really, really good. Like the
Oh, they're
face
fantastic.
sculpts are nice, like as well. Like you would
Yeah.
know, even if you were to take just to look at the heads, you'd know who everybody was supposed to be, which is like a
Yes.
major win there.
It really shows that they actually gave a shit when they made the Mego figures in the 70s, because you get into the 80s and there's a lot of like there's some nice superhero figures and whatnot. You got, I don't know, like Secret Wars and King of Superpowers, fun figures, Star Wars, whatnot. But obviously you got post oil crisis 70s going to 80s, you had the figures getting smaller and all that. But a lot of the just anything licensed in the 80s, even up to early 90s, licensed toys looked like garbage, look nothing, most of the time look nothing like the figures. Probably not on, sorry, the actors and real people. Not until the late 90s, when you get into like sort of Toy Biz, WCW, you started seeing some face sculpts that actually looked like the people they're based on. So Mego did an amazing job with Trek and a lot of other properties too. But like there's several that stand out, probably like whenever I think of Mego, I kind of think like Marvel, DC, Star Trek. I'm not sure if they did Planet Apes or not, because I'm not familiar with the toys of that. But they did a lot of different properties, but there's always several that just kind of stand out. And they did little play sets and cardboard backgrounds and other stuff. They really kind of got the role play and imagination side of things. And to me, they're like the original action figure company. And to correct myself there, of course, G.I. Joe, Hasbro coined the term action figure because they didn't want boys to be associating G.I. Joe with Barbie and we're calling it a doll, even though original 12-inch Joe was a doll. It literally was like, well, here's Barbie, here's cloth clothing, but now it's articulated, but it's for boys and war and manly things. They coined the term action figure. But as far as like building a universe of different properties and all that, Mego is just like amazing company, fantastic products that got there before Kenner or Toy Biz or Hasbro and all these other bloody Johnny come latelys came along in, later decades.
You have a toy like this, and you can even kind of see it in their own images. They don't give a shit like what scale you want to play in, because you see the kid messing with like the full size like Mego Spock there, even though
That's
the
like big
playset
as that
comes with a
Thundercats
smaller size.
playset, man. That's
Yeah,
massive.
it's so cool. It's so cool. Like they did a real bang up job, and it's kind of something like Mission to Gamma 6. It's not something that you're going to immediately think like, because the Enterprise bridge is an obvious thing to go with, but something like this is pretty out of the box thinking, and it's a really
Yeah.
cool that they actually produced something that you could have this like wacky kind of adventure mission going on with your toys instead of just having to. I'm sure this is the type of thing that many a child brought out into the back garden to pretend they were on, Gamma 6 or whatever world and go through their playtime.
It's a
Up at
strange
hand,
enough
teasing
playset.
the
You
life.
could use it for multiple different themes and figures. It could be science fiction, it could be fantasy, it could be a bunch of things.
Yeah, it's the
It could
type
be
of
Harry
thing like
Potter, it could be
where
Lord of the Rings. It's like,
if you didn't know it was supposed to be Star Trek, it could be anything. Like that's
yeah.
just the design of it almost.
But
Very cool though. Very cool.
like this catalog is focused on the Mego action figures and odd playset, but Mego did made a bunch of like role play items and other products. And if you look at their actual entire catalog of products over a decade or so, they made a whole bunch of other stuff other than action figure things. But primarily, it's what we think of when we look back and think of the companies, these action figures. And here we got like role play items, and these are like well, as far as I know, these would be 1-to-1 scale items, so you can actually role play and run around with stuff. We've got bloody tricorders and phases and whatnot.
And very screen accurate. Once again,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's pretty cool that they were
I wish they'd make
putting out
stuff like this
type of stuff.
now. Like, whenever they do Ninja Turtle stuff, they do the shitty role play weapons that are like look pretty rubbish most of the time. But why can't they do like a shell communicator cell phone thing like they used to have in the cartoon and all that? And which was obviously just trying to do like the Star Trek clamshell communicator. Even as a kid, when I watched Ninja Turtles, I'm like, oh, they're just doing the Star Trek thing. It flips up, and before we had flip up phones and all that, we had in Star Trek and we had it in Turtles, and before those, it was in bloody 100-year-old science fiction novels and shit. They had mobile type communications and whatever.
It's pretty cool. Like, so obviously on the show, they weren't walking around aerials sticking out of their communicators or whatever. But still, it's cool that you, as a kid, you could get like pretty much like a walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
It's like a track walkie-talkie, and it's just really cool. It's just a really cool.
There was loads of that stuff in the 70s and 80s. You'd get like bloody just about every TV show that came along, whether it was fucking Chips or Starsky and Hutch, you'd get different themed radio things or laser tag things or radio walkie-talkie things.
I like the way that they kind of, there's a little bit of artistic license being taken with even just their paintings here. Like on the first page, that's definitely supposed to be Kirk and Spock, and they've even kind of done their likeness a bit. But on the second page, it looks like kind of Kirk and Spock from a distance, but then when you look at their faces, it's like looks nothing like Bill Shatner or Leonard Nimoy.
No,
just
it's
like kind of
generic, like you see in a comic book or whatever.
Yes, yeah. Still very cool though. I can't believe they released a Tribble as well to go along with all of that.
Yeah. I couldn't see what it was. It just looks like a bloody hot fried potato or something.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah, looks tasty.
Like McDonald's, get your Tribbles.
Yeah,
there you go. That's a freebie. McDonald's like change your chicken McNuggets to Tribbles. Like, there's your promotion.
Star Trek Electronic Phaser Battle Game. I'm assuming. It's like a light-based game. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like those old early 80s arcade style little mini arcade things. They've made hundreds of these bloody things by different companies.
Shoot the Klingon warship, you know, you gotta stop those Klingons before they get
to you. This was actually the common home arcade style games before we had dedicated machines like the old Nintendos and Segas and everything. Everything used to be its own little individual machine, and some of them are really cool. You can get like ones that are look like binoculars, but it's a game of Tron, and you put it up to your eyes, and after 10 minutes you got a terrible headache, like Virtual Boy style. But they're bloody awesome games with simple little graphics and that. They had so many of these. Like as a lifelong video gamer, you know, I've looked at. I'm not familiar with this one, but I'm familiar with a lot of other 80s and 90s ones where you've got rubbish like Tiger, but you've got actually really cool stuff in the early 80s from your Nintendo Game & Watch and other ones like your Vectrix. But there's literally 100, 200, 300 different bloody things like this that went to retail before we had the big video game crash in like mid-80s and all that.
A little Paramount copyright here I've just noticed. So we might be able to work out the year from here. So I think it says either 75 or 70. Yeah, it's either 75 or 76, I think. So that's the kind of date range we're looking at.
All the earliest home video game stuff was individual machines like this. Other than the Magnavox Odyssey was like the first proper home console. Everything else was individual little one-off units. Like in the 80s as kids, we got little handheld LCD things. But before that, we got bigger, boxier things like this with a typical thing. It's like a single game, single unit. You can't change the game. It's just one thing. But there was a lot of different little things like this, some of which are like really cool and still very playable today. As far as, I mean, if it works today, I mean, like as in like the design of the game, you could, if you made a new unit today, a lot of these are like really simple, cool, fun games. So next up in this catalog, we've got Wizard of Oz, which I presume is the live-action movie Wizard of Oz by the look of the figures.
There's like the likenesses here are freaky accurate. Like they are. Like it's
those really kids, man, in that catalog. They look just like the actual kids in the catalog. Likeness spot on.
But seriously, like that Scarecrow and Tin Man could have been right out of the, like, you know, literally jump off the screen almost.
Yeah. And
like
this is definitely very
old
school. Like I can't say I know all the processes, how they make action figures and injected molded plastic and whatnot. But as far as before anything digital, anything you're doing for faces, you're starting with, you're doing like putty on a stick, basically. Like I've got a mate who's done model kits all his life. He's a really good visual artist. He draws in pencil. He draws in pencil, pen, charcoal. He's done paintings. He's done model kits. He's done dioramas. He's like amazingly talented, and he's same age as me. He's been doing this shit all his life since he's like about 5 years old. No joke. And occasionally he'll send me in a chat on Facebook. It's like, here's a little Joker head I've just done. It's like, what's it? And it's just like some random Joker face from New 52. And he's just like, looks at a comic cover. He's sitting there with putty and a scalpel, and he's going, chiseling away at it, and like there's a head, and then he paints it, and it's just a little head, and that's basically how you get to have good looking heads on figures back then. You make something that's chiseled away, you scalpel it and color it, and you make up your dummy or prototype, and then you go away and do your, you know, test samples, whatever, and eventually get to an action figure. But yeah, I'm privileged that I've known a good mate who's actually really good at making stuff by hand and seen him do amazing things.
Talented dude, definitely.
Yeah, he sent me like a little Hellboy picture on a little Hellboy head and a Joker head and whatever other random thing, like the Thing from Fantastic Four. And he's been doing it. At this point, like, I'm 45, so he's been doing stuff since he's about 5 years old. So that's 40 years of like doing like model kits and sculpting shit and doing things just as a hobby. He's not commercial at all. He's doing it as a hobby, but his skills are as good as like any professional I've ever seen that does shit like that. Because he's been doing it for so long and he just loves it, does it for the sake of it.
Yeah, does it for the passion and the love, you know.
Exactly.
The best reasons to.
Like, we used to sit next to each other in like math class and whatever, and I'll be doodling shit like the old crossing out like, here's like, I know there's a principal when you're drawing out the old Hitler moustache on the principal. Don't tell anyone doing that shit or putting a bit of sideburns on. He'd be like drawing a fucking illustration on the back like bit of paper based on nothing, just what's on his mind and in his head. But yeah, a bit more of the old Wizard of Oz. Got some
very impressive, man. These kind of box. Yeah, these box cardboard play sets are very cool, I have to say.
Really well designed.
This is the type of thing that if you manage to preserve them well and have them set up in like a glass cabinet, they'd look absolutely beautiful. With your figures and everything.
It'll be tough to get like pristine examples of, but I don't know any Mego communities because I've always been into like sort of Marvel, DC, Dragon Ball, and you know, postmodern shit like that, throw superheroes and whatever, sci-fi. But 70 stuff's kind of harder for me to connect with, like far as Mego or bloody that guy did all the stunts, Evil Knievel and that sort of thing. But I would think in communities by now, going on the technology we have on scans, reproductions, whatever, there's got to be people out there who have like must have scanned and reproduced these cardboard sets by now. That, you know, if you wanted to invest the time and money and actually reproduce them, not to sell, but for yourself, if you want to make some, I'm sure they must exist by now because it's the simplest thing. It's basically flat artwork, but on a piece of cardboard compared to say making a full 3D printer piece of plastic, whatever. It's a lot simpler to reproduce this. So I don't know, but I'm assuming there must be people who've done stuff like this by now.
I'm assuming the Mego collecting community is mature enough to not throw their fucking hissy fits just because someone's doing repros. Oh, it's not the original. It's not the original.
Give a shit because these are before the Star Wars. Apologies, everyone like Star Wars, including Mark. Before the Star Wars repro wankers came along, the people that like make a fuss about reproductions are like, oh, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? All us with our KO Transformers are like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I've got me bootleg Transformers up on the shelf right up there.
There's a real sense, like even though it's a cardboard set, there's a brilliant sense.
There's a dimensionality and look to it.
Yeah, so good. It's just so well designed. Like it's not the type like. And I know I always come across like I hate on how modern things are made, and I kind of do in a lot of ways. But like these days, that would just be like a cheap pull out, you know, nothing, totally flat. You'd get it would just be
that cave.
and there'd probably be holes in it from where you had to cut the cable ties to get the figure.
Yeah, there would. You had to cut the stupid ties. There'd be holes and bits of the. But yeah, no, they really gave a shit. They really made like quality sets, good figures, amazing cloth clothing that's as good as or better than 70s Barbie. And then you get these little diorama style things where they've really thought about the design, layout. It's and the cool thing is that it's made for kids to play with. It works as a play set, and it works really well as a modern display. Like they're like such beautiful looking displays.
It's also a testament though to the style of the time or the vibe of the time as well, where, you know, we're in about 1976 going by that copyright stamp. So if you think about it, like Wizard of Oz, it's not exactly
Mego, but there was Marvel cardboard whatever. I think it was Jaylee Bugle or something. It looked like dog shit. Whereas this looks beautiful.
We've got Wizard of Oz that by this stage, it's not like it's a new movie that's just
No, it's not new.
in the 70s. And same with the Star Trek original series. But it just goes to show you that, properties like this, because they were so beloved and because they made such like a pop culture impact, that even like almost a decade later, they were still producing high quality, high end stuff.
Still in the 70s, like we're pre before Star Wars got in, pre before Motu. Once we get to there, the whole game changed as far as action figures and toys. And before that, you've got your wooden toys, you've got your tin toys, you've got your small little soldiers and Green Army men and all that, and you kind of perennial toys or miniature dinosaurs and stuff like that. But then things kind of changed, and we got to these. So here we've got Robin Hood and his Merry Men, World's Greatest Super Knights, Commander Power and his Power. I'm not familiar with that one. And then Starsky and Hutch, who look absolutely fucking great.
Yeah. I'm assuming with the Commander Power, with the power arm is probably just so you can like rev back the thing to make it like go across the floor.
Kind of looks like Nintendo Power Glove, but like in plaid. It's like, it's not quite, I can't believe it's not Evel Knievel is like the impression I get looking at that.
Starsky and Hutch, it's those TV wonder cops at the fight.
They look awesome. Like, my missus gifted me the box set last Christmas, so like if I had those guys to go in front of the box set, it would be wicked. I was digging through my tubs today, and I got 4 Anchorman figures that only come out in the last 10, 15 years. I got on sale. They're a little bit more articulated, but they've got cloth clothing, a hard head, and they're very much in the style of the 70s Mego. If you want to put them on the shelf, they'll fit in pretty well with like 70s Mego, the Anchorman toys.
So yeah, someone has spray painted the name Sting there in the background, and well, is Sting the wrestler, Sting the musician, Sting Operation,
the police.
Yeah, they look really good, really nice. Just the face sculpts are just really nice for the time.
Yeah, they're excellent. I like Mego. It's fantastic cloth clothing. Sometimes the cut was a little bit funky, but it's not the clothes. It's just because of the articulation of the figures and the way. Well, I mean, as a gawky, underweight teenager, I used to buy jeans. Living in New Zealand, it's cold. I could never get jeans on my size because I was thin and tall. So either you get stuff that's too wide and it just falls off you, or it's too narrow and too tight, and you're like breathing in trying to put them on. And that's what it feels like when you put on seeing these Mego clothes.
Although it's once again, like, it's just kind of a testament to they just have a real. They made the effort, basically, is what I'm trying to get across. It just feels like they've gone out of their way to not just produce like slop. They've actually put a bit of thought into how it's going to look, how the clothes are going to kind of fit on the buck. And like you're saying, you're going to have fits that might look a bit loosey goosey, but it is all down to like it's a combination of the articulation, the figures, but also just like, I'm sure from a factory production point of view, it's probably better to have the stuff not too tightly fitted, and just for cost.
Oh, for sure, because you put real clothes on, especially jeans or denim, it needs it's got a certain amount of bend, but not a lot of bend, does it?
No, they did a hell of a job on the soft goods front, I have to say. Can't deny them that.
Yeah, it's something that kind of became almost like a lost art, because it was like 12-inch Joe and Barbie were the big soft goods things, and then Mego, and then as it moved along, it became like everyone's a buff action figure and like He-Man and whatnot, and the soft goods kind of went away. So next up, we've got the Hall of Justice with the Justice League, and here's Superman about to go on an adventure. Yeah. And the 70s Superman Mego looks beautiful. They've done a modern one, like the modern Megos around now. It's like a relaunch of the brand with the son or grandson or whoever the hell it is. Like on the Brick Mantooth channel, they talk about the actual lineage of Mego. Someone in the family continued the Mego lineage. Don't ask me which person. But the modern Batman and Superman, they've done them again. They're okay. They're not bad, but they don't look as good as the 70s Superman Batman ones. And I'm just saying that to be a prick. Like, I've just bought a whole bunch of ones on sale, the modern ones, And me, who loves superheroes to death, I bought Star Trek and I bought a bloody Willy Wonka and a Bruce Lee and a Hendrix and the Batman and Superman that were half price, nearly a third price. I went, no, they're not quite right. I'm not going to get them.
I like the way, you know, if you kind of look at how this whole Justice is designed, there's like a real kind of artist sketch quality to it, as opposed to trying to make it look like realistic.
Looks like the bloody Turtles Mutant Mayhem stuff where it's real scratchy looking.
Yeah, there's a real, like, I love the way like the Joker's face is drawn on the view screen and stuff. There's a like real that kind of scratch art style look to it.
And I'd say it's a pretty interpretive Hall of Justice because we know the Kenner playset Hall of Justice and the Super Friends in the 70s. And anyone who watches bloody Weird Fantastic Toys and Bill will be familiar with Super Friends. If not, check out Weird Fantastic Toys channel because they've got plenty of Motu and Superpowers content going on over there. But that place, you know, where the Hall of Justice, like a big, I don't know, big fucking McDonald's arch sort of thing, and then there's a big facade front piece. This is like an interior, and it seems like it's very much up to the artist's interpretation. It could just as well be like Transformers 1986, the movie. We're in space, we're looking at consoles and panels and things, or it could be Star Trek, it could be anything.
This one, unlike that couple of Wizard of Oz sets we looked at, and one of the track sets, this doesn't come with any figures. So I was looking at the other ones that you usually say, oh, you know, includes figure of the Wizard or includes figure of the Munchkins. This one here, I'm guessing you just kind of had to buy it by itself with the assumption, I suppose, that you already have your separate superhero figures to go and use with it. But yeah, it's just a really nice, there's something about that art style. I just like that they've done it like that. It looks like almost like you're looking at a comic book spread.
It does. It does have a nice comic book look to it. I wasn't trying to talk bad about it when I'm saying it could be Star Trek, it could be Transformers 86 in the movie. I mean, a complimentary way. It's like it's a kind of like timeless aesthetic. Like when I think of like the Transformers movie where they're like going off in Moonbase and Prime and going up here and Ironhide's sitting at the consoles. I love all that shit. I love a good still image of like sitting at the console with here's a thing and there's something over here. There's a little Easter egg in the background. It's just an opportunity for an artist to really like pack stuff in there.
That's great for kids as well because it means you're not being kind of hit over the head that you have to use this thing with a particular set of toys. You can let your imagination
it's kind of
run
multi-purpose. Wild. That kind of fits like a Badger aesthetic, I guess, like multi-purpose playsets of various scales.
Exactly.
It reminds me also of the old Castle Grayskull, Snake Mountain, and the old Hordak. We got Fright Zone. When you look at the interior bits, there's kind of like there's a bit of a monster, there's a bit of a thing, there's a trick mechanism, and you know, there's stuff that's there to really kind of bring the kids' imagination alive. And sometimes it's based on comic stuff or cartoon stuff or a hodgepodge of artistic concepts and interpretation. But yeah, really cool set. So next up, we've got 1 million years BC. And when I was paging through this catalog, I just went, oh, there's cool looking dinosaurs there and a rhinoceros thing and a bunch of generic cave people, which is just the generic Mego buck with a bunch of that Conan here and then some animal clothing. Looks like an Ewok village meets Jurassic Park.
It's I have to say though, it's very cool. And once again, if you didn't know it was for that particular
I did not know. I looked at the pictures and I went, oh yeah, that's a movie. Raquel Welch. Now I remember the movie.
Like that tribal layer playset, like that would go great with your Jurassic figures or any type of, you know, dinosaur setup you want to use it for.
Or any of the like early 30s, 40s proto pop culture heroes.
The only thing I suppose, if I was to be slightly critical, I would say these are the most like, you know, well-groomed cave people you've probably ever come across.
They've just come from the salon mark. In their defense.
Yeah, not a chest hair on them. Like they've been shaving down.
They've come from the Planet of the Apes Charlton Heston school of cavemen or ape people, where everybody's been waxed and shaved. They've just walked out of the salon, but after they walked to their cell and they've rolled in a bit of dirt, now they're ready for the roughy tufty. They're ready for a bit of bare knuckle boxy or hunter saber-tooth tiger. It's got that kind of feel to it. It is very like 50s through 70s sci-fi sort of movies. There was a lot of that sort of Anglo-Saxon waxed chest sort of heroic person who's like you know, kind of roughing it.
I like the way, because I was looking to see, did they actually have I know there's a proper scientific name for that prehistoric rhinoceros, but what he's named here in the catalog is hairy rhino. That's what they have in the description, hairy rhino. And I was wondering as well, because I was looking, I noticed they had kind of holes in the sides of the dinosaurs.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they actually make roaring sounds, so that must be where the speakers, the little speakers, come out the side.
There we go. And we got the old Dimetrodon on there, one of my favorites.
Yeah, big fan of the Dimetrodon, or the Dimetrodon, depending on who you are and how you pronounce these things.
I've got the Jurassic Park one, and then I've got the this little generic Kmart one that's like something or other dinosaurs. He's just like a rubbery one. And he looks really nice. So I've got two little different ones on that same scale now.
Yeah, really nice looking. No, I'm quite impressed with that tribal layer playset, I have to say. It's the type of thing
set. Thinking of me mate before who makes like model kits and dioramas. Look at all the figures and then the plastics. Look at everything in this image at the bottom that's not plastic. Yes. All diorama. That's practical little grass rock stuff that's all been painted up. It's probably some kind of whatever shit that's been glued down and then they've gone to paint it over the top. My mate's done loads of cool stuff like this where he's done little dioramas and model kit things where he's painted up things. And that kind of detail in the catalogue, you don't even notice it. It's just there. It's the background. You're so convinced that is the background, you're not even aware of it. And it shows that they really gave a shit about making not only good toys, good photography, good diorama backgrounds into a nice physical printed catalog. That's a lost art. We don't. I mean, obviously, we're in a digital fucking times now. We don't get print. We get printed newspapers and other bullshit, but we don't see printed catalogs anymore. Unless you want to see like fucking Brick Mantoo's Toy Ventures magazine or something like that, like fanzines. We don't see this sort of stuff anymore, so it's kind of a bit lost. And it's like it makes me think of like the Sulaco and Alien and model kits and Star Wars. A lot of 70s stuff is like this practical stuff. We'll get in, we'll shoot it close, we'll do it real nice and good details, panning shots, good camera work, good photography, good miniatures, good dioramas. It's you know, people that do practical stuff know how to do it as a fun hobby. But like if you're just like purely digital artist, it's like a lost art in the sense of like modern cinema and modern toys and catalogs. It's a shame because it should never go away. Like we live in a physical world. There's always going to be physical things to look at and see and interact with.
Here we have the legend.
He is the greatest.
Muhammad Ali flies like a butterfly, stings like a bee.
He's guested at a whole bunch of wrestling events that I know of. He's also been an amazing boxer.
Is the other guy just supposed to be a generic boxer for him to fight?
No, I'm not sure. I should have done my homework and seen who that is. I have no idea who it is, but I think it's a real person. So yeah, apologies.
They don't name him specifically on the catalog page, so I'm just wondering.
If you know, write it in the comments. Was this an actual boxer that he's fighting here for the 70s, or just a generic dude?
You needed to have an opponent. It would be pretty lame to have like a boxing action Muhammad Ali figure with nobody to actually box.
I'm pretty sure it's not George Foreman. Already was kids with the name George Foreman.
Yeah, you know, you'd be paying the big bucks to use George Foreman's likeness, you know.
But of all the 70s style Megos, like I think some of the most desirables are like, I mean, you got your Marvel heroes, your DC heroes, you get Star Trek. I think Muhammad Ali then and now pretty damn desirable in a figure from Mego or any form really. I mean, I don't have him, but I do have a contender. I do have this guy.
Oh yeah. Never forget you.
He's the only random one that I picked up a couple of years back. I've been sitting on my desk ever since, and couldn't get the Rocky unfortunately. But I do have a little bit of bonus towards the end of the show. I have a little bonus to show of some stuff I picked up recently. But yeah, Ali, absolute legend. Like my mate Sam, who lives in Frankston, big time. Two guys I know. Three guys I know. we include Mark over here, Chris in New Zealand, who was the model guy I was talking about, and Sam back in Frankston. All hardcore wrestling fans who know way more wrestling than they'll ever learn in my lifetime. Like pro wrestling I'm talking about, not like fucking actual sports, not the actual like Olympic wrestling or nothing, but proper wrestling. My mate Sam back in Frankston is a big time boxing fan as much as wrestling, so he's watched all Ali matches and this and that, and Foreman and other guys and whatever, Holyfield, Tyson, all that sort of stuff. But Ali, absolute legend, amazing human being too, who unfortunately got the old punch drunk Parkinson's and whatnot in later life.
And of course, though, I suppose for the kiddos at the time, it's not just having the action figure; it's the fact it has the actual. You will see now when we go to the next page. We got a glimpse of it here with that thing on his back.
Rock'em robot gimmick with a fist go like this, and there's a gimmick in the back of this little on the bottom right. There's a big crazy grabber thing that makes him do the punching. Something else I found out about bloody Ali recently was in reading wrestler biographies. Apparently he was a fan of like some of the old time wrestlers like Classy, Freddie Blassie and other dudes, and actually based some of his promos on the style of early pro wrestling promos. And apparently also liked some of the comic book superheroes as well, which just ties into some of the other characters that come out.
So I've noticed here this, where was this? I read this a second ago. They describe the other boxer as the challenger. So yeah, he must just be a generic boxer, you know. So it's Muhammad Ali versus the challenger.
I like that we've got the little bucket of water in the corner and the stool, and that's that. You don't want to fall over fucking $1 Million Baby style and hit that stool at the wrong part of the movie.
It seems like the type of set that these days lots of people would be missing the generic boxer. Yeah. And it's probably the generic no-name boxer that fetches the most money because people can't find theirs and they need it to complete the set.
Yeah, for sure. And if you wanted to chuck some wrestlers in here, I mean, look at those ring color ropes. Saturday night's main event. You can chuck some wrestlers up there if you want to. But you'd be an idiot because you'd be wasting a decent size. And you could buy a one.
No, it's a really nice little ring, I have to say. Just a nice set. You could definitely, I'd say, Mania, a happy kiddo and their either sibling or their friends were having a great time boxing the shit out of each other using the little gimmick.
Looks like an excellent set. And like, look, they did Rock and Talking robots way back there, and they've done modern versions of that. They've done other weird ones. They've done like Ninja Turtle variation ones where it's the same gimmick, same set, just like grab a claw thing, like those picky up off the ground things that sometimes old time folks use that can't be into. And it's the same gimmick that they still use now.
The little stools and buckets and stuff they had there, they weren't just thrown in for the picture. They're actually are included with this play set. It says in the description that it comes with them. So that's pretty cool as well that you get all that stuff.
You can splash your water in your box's face merges buried a style where you can spit in your bucket and disgust it in the bloody 5th round.
Yeah. These look a bit different.
Yes, I'm not familiar. Now, I'm specifically going to call out Goji Tron because he's like the comment king as far as actually knowing things from the 70s. He existed for us, and he's much more knowledgeable for us. So not just saying this. I'm not familiar with these figures. I know generic 70s Mego stuff. Particularly, I used to read old Wizard magazine. It had Twisted Toy for the theater, and they did little silly comic strip panels where it was like drunk Iron Man was pissing himself in his suit and Thing was walking around going, what a rotten velvets and all that. These ones, I'm not sure of the scale. They're in this weird squat He-Man pose. They're all kind of like doing their squats at the gym every week with the knees. Are these in a smaller scale? Are these closer to like a Star Wars figure size? Like I'm assuming they're smaller, but it's hard to tell from the images.
It says
the articulation.
Says in the description that they are exquisitely detailed and in a great new size. So they're even acknowledging that they're not the same scale. So they don't tell you exactly what they are, but it says that they're a new scale size.
I would just assume they're smaller based on the images and the oil crystals of the 70s when things started getting downscaled. But I'm not familiar with these because I've only seen them as catalog. I haven't seen them in general in video retrospectives or images on eBay. Penguin's just a bloody bit of artwork, so they haven't even made him yet. And then the Marvel ones are just artwork as well.
Of course, it's comic action heroes, so we got both Marvel and DC sharing a spread here, which is very interesting. Causing a bit of brand confusion there among the younglings back in the day.
Yeah, I don't mind because I've read DC versus Marvel. Not a great comic, but
that little Batman bridge set's pretty cool because the play feature is that you can hit the dynamite to blow the bridge. Yeah, that's pretty class.
I'll be back in 2 seconds.
So like the way it works, it's like, can Batman and Robin get the Batmobile across the bridge before Joker blows up the explosives? Not if I'm playing with it. He'd get got every time, I'll tell you that much. I'll let these secrets spill out when Johnny's away. I'm all on the supervillain side of things. Don't tell anybody. But it's quite interesting, and it's especially these days considering how sewn up copyrights and licensing rights are, to see DC and Marvel stuff advertised side by side is quite something. And it's not going to be the only time we're going to see it. Looking at these next few pages of the Mego catalog, it's just these days we kind of take it for granted that the two worlds just won't mix, and apart from our licenses, obviously, we've got McFarlane doing the DC stuff, we've got Hasbro doing the Marvel stuff. They don't even really scale properly if you wanted to put them together. But back here and back in this period of time, that's not an issue, because if you're into Marvel and you're into DC, there happens to be the one company that's producing toys, for both, and that's a really cool thing. That both Marvel and DC are hand in hand.
That the one company is actually doing this sort of multiverse of figures: Marvel, DC, and Star Trek, and bloody Wizard of Oz. And
yeah, very cool, very cool.
This is one of my favorite images in the catalog, because we learn not only did the Green Goblin not die how you think, with the famous Goblin glider being impaled, he actually died when Spider-Man punched him into a big construction chomper jaw vehicle, and that was the end of him. And then the Penguin blew up a bridge or tower, or electric tower, whatever it is.
Going by the product description here, the Mangler is not really, it's neither Marvel nor DC. And if you look at the description, it's like, this incredible vehicle specializes in chewing up superheroes. It doesn't even say like it's for Spider-Man or it's for Batman or anything like that. And another thing that's really cool is it's the same artist, clearly the same Mego product artist, who is doing both like Marvel and DC stuff, it looks like, because these art panels are very similar to each other. So I'd say it's the same dude who's just doing everything there.
And the same green plastic too.
Yeah, it's
so it's wild, like world building with his stuff you can use with both like this, or and if you want to use it on a Star Trek set, I guess you could. They'd beam down to some Earth where people are mangling up superheroes by punching them into construction vehicles.
Whereas then the next set, it is Wonder Woman specifically, because it's got like the invisible plane and that, like, so know that it's supposed to be specific to that character.
I did see an amazing photo this week that really blew my mind. It was Granted Jim's, he moved interstate with his missus to another state, and then he showed a photo of some empty space. It was stacked wall to wall with invisible jets. You couldn't see even one of them.
Amazing. No doubt that's worth a fortune as well, that collection of invisible jets.
Best
all you got to do is find them.
On time.
you have to go over to them with a box in your hand and just try and put it down in the right place. And if you pick it, it feels heavy, you know you got one. If it feels light, you got to try again.
Yeah, it's cool they did this right to the world building, kind of accessory stuff. They got nice original artwork in the catalogs. It's kind of like the original Marvel versus DC in a way. It's like,
yes,
see this artwork here. Then we've got a Sweet Blossom and a gazebo. Not a euphemism. Let's move on because I'm not interested in this weird girly doll thing. They made it. Looks very nice, but we'll move on from this one to the Our Gang, which has the Little Rascals. We've got old bloody Alfalfa. I don't know what the dog's called, but I like the dog.
I wonder. So, like, they can call them their character names, but they can't use the term "little rascal."
Yeah, yeah.
So, do you think this is like a
thing, I assume?
Yeah, I'm wondering. Yeah, I suppose you can't just copyright a kid's name, I guess. It's interesting though that they went with Our Gang, unless there is
it confused me when I first saw it.
brand change that I'm not aware of. Yeah, maybe the Little Rascals was known as Our Gang in 1976, and we just aren't aware of it. Maybe there was.
Well, it went through many different incarnations and whatnot. And
once again, though, when we're talking about dimension and depth and making the most out of these kind of fold-out sets, they do a great job here. Once again, with this, just a really nice set. You got the little boat and the little, like, they're supposed to be wood, obviously it's plastic, but you know that the kids put together or whatever. But very, very cool. Our Gang paddle boat and Our Gang car, Our Gang clubhouse.
Car looks like it made of blocks of cheese or something. It's a funny texture to it.
I wonder. I'm assuming you bought them as a group. Like you'd get the clubhouse separately and you get the vehicle separately, but do you buy the figures as a group? Because they don't seem to have individual item codes like on some of the other pages we saw. So maybe you just buy the whole set.
But it's a nice set of figures. You won't see them released again because I can guarantee, even though it's really nice figures, if they release these today, people will be like, well, this is no good and here's why. This is not with our culture and our times. Even though there's nothing the least bit offensive about them. I guarantee if they release these now, people will be come up crazy reasons to complain about them.
Oh, yeah.
So very 70s. We've got Cher and Sonny who's over there. He's not smaller. Yeah. He's just de-emphasized by smaller picture.
He's just an afterthought.
Yeah.
He's not important enough to get a full spread.
The most photographed, the best dressed, most exciting star in anyone's memory becomes 1976 and most exciting new doll. So this is clearly, well, obviously it's the zeitgeist of like Sonny and Cher and whatnot. But the first thing that comes to my mind, especially on this next image here, is like, well, here's Cher in a nice dress and she's got the good long hair. Doesn't look like the typical Mego. She's taller, thinner, less articulated. There's no elbow joints going on there. I don't know about the knees. Look at all these outfits. This is clearly 70s Barbie, but it's Cher. Yeah. That's clearly what they're going for as far as the influence and style and that.
I'd like to think that Cher in her house just has a wall of these villain balls.
But I will say they're very nice outfits and the cloth goods are fantastic.
Yeah, and like once, like, you know, if you weren't aware that they were supposed to be, you know, it's supposed to be Cher in her various outfits. Like, there's some pretty cool just dress types here like if you wanted to pick. Like, yeah, you know, even if you had another female buck that you wanted to put some of these outfits on, like you got the Dragon Lady dress and the Madam Chan. I definitely think now we mentioned things that, you know, current generations might roll their eyes at or raise an eyebrow to or find a little bit offensive, because we've got the Indian squaw outfit. I don't think that would fly today. We also have the Cherokee outfit, may not just fly too well today, given modern sensitivities, but it is what it is. But you do have to admire just the kind of the sheer selection of outfits is something else. Yeah, it's
on social media. Yeah, no, I do like the variety of outfits here, and like Mego is just like fantastic at cloth goods. That's one of the things they really stand out for. Plus, they're like good head sculpts. So the combination of those two is like these are really standout toys and figures here. I'm not familiar with them, but I'm sure there's someone out there who must have like an amazing collection of these figures. I mean, I've met a bloke in Perth who has the biggest vintage 70s Barbie collection in the state, probably in, well, by now it must be bigger in at least several states, I would think. But I won't mention his name of that, but I will say he's a really excellent dude, and I've seen his vintage collection of 70s style Barbies and big, like floor to ceiling, like display cabinets. He's also got some like 12-inch GI Joe and some other ones like I forget the name of something like Captain Action or something. The ones that came in outfits that was like the guide, and you could change them in different outfits, but it was like the boys' version of Barbie, basically. So same sort of deal, amazing cloth goods and all that.
Oh, quite the array. Yeah, I'd love to see somebody who'd have like a proper curated collection of these to see how they display.
Like the irony is that like the outfits they use in these 70s sheer Megos and Barbies, it's better than the materials they make of the actual clothes we're wearing now. It's like better quality.
Probably, yeah. They'd last longer.
Yeah. So next up we've got the Waltons. Not the thing I'd be like running to the store to buy for action figures. But as far as like the quality of them, they look bloody amazing. Like the outfits, the figures, the kind of play set, this vehicle. It's like it's not the thing I think, yeah, I want that. But objectively, the quality of them looks excellent.
This is the type of thing where if I was a kid and had that Walton's farmhouse and like the pickup truck, I'd probably just be using it as like a gang hideout house, or like to have like shootouts with the police or something like that.
It's like Dick Tracy versus like Denny Zuko.
Yeah, he's hiding out in the old farmhouse. Let's go get him. Once again, though, a very, very, like, you can see obviously the folds of the cardboard, and it's a mix of, I suppose, cardboard, plastic, and wood maybe, but it's a really nice design. And yeah, if you were a fan and into that, I could see how you'd absolutely be loving it. Though I don't know, like yourself, I don't think I ever sat and thought, I'd really love some Waltons figures. I just love
I was a Beverly Hillbillies generation person, so the Waltons kind of passed me by.
Yes, the all-time favorite TV family, as they're described here.
You'll love to play with a fun family for hours on end.
Yeah, you go up to your bedroom and then you just go and you tell each of your figures good night. It's like, good night, John boy. You just go for each.
They did like really good photography again. Yeah, we got the figures, the good sculpts, the cloth clothing, the vehicle. We've got a nice little sandy background, the house. But then they've gone with the pink background, which I guess is a concession to the catalog, because they could have done like a sunset sky or something. Could have like tied the whole. That's the only thing I would change in this image, just to make it look a bit nicer.
Pink sky is more fitting for like the Star Trek figures or something, if you're on some like weird alien planet.
But it seems like it's more a catalog thing to fit with the bit at the top. But otherwise, you would put a nice sunset or something in there. So you've got some bit more Waltons. I do like this horse and cart. Like I feel like you could use that multi-purpose. If you wanted like a Western diorama, you could chuck that in there.
It's just one of those things, like if you did not know it was supposed to be Walton specific, this would be a great setup for your Wild West.
My only nitpick is the pool table is clearly not to scale.
Yes, yeah. It's a children's pool table.
Yeah, it's a mini pool table.
Yeah, and once again, they do a nice job of mixing physical 3D items with cardboard backgrounds to give you kind of a sense of depth. It's a really nice set, I have to say.
They kind of attempted that with the McFarlane Batcave set. They had a bit of plastic stuff in the cardboard thing, but it was a bit half-baked. It wasn't up to the quality of the Mego style.
These look pretty nice. You can see in that small picture at the bottom, you can see what they look like from the outside. So they're like full structures on the outside you can look at.
Yeah, that's very much like when you get to the 80s play sets. We got a Castle Grayskull. You got your clamshell, folds in half or open it up. We've got interior, exterior. which is obviously innovated by these like cardboard style sets.
Well, I can dig it. I can definitely dig it. Once again, it's not like I was like a super duper Waltons fan, but I could
Oh, you
definitely
were talking to me
appreciate
for
like
5 hours before the show started about the Waltons. He would have shut up about
Spoiler
it.
alert. The next 7 Boba Joe episodes are about the Waltons.
It's all Waltons. Sorry, I shouldn't take piss your accent.
Oh, it's the way.
Next up, we got some DC and Marvel dudes, plus random Tarzan in there. Because Tarzan was a Marvel comic for quite a number of years. So there you go.
Yeah, here's the real clashing of the worlds right now. And our year has actually changed for the copyright on some of these. So we've got 1972.
Yeah.
But we also have like a 1974 copyright stamp as well. So they obviously had the licenses renewed at various times or whatever.
Yeah,
but it's crazy.
What do you think of Mego? Like DC, Marvel, Trek are the ones that, as someone who's never owned the original Megos and never seen them as a kid, that's the ones that's kind of familiar with just from pop culture. I didn't know about Waltons and Wizard of Oz, and I knew they'd done other stuff, but I didn't know what other stuff they'd done. Just like the big icons, like that scene of The Simpsons where it's like he's like taking care of business. Nah, no old stuff, no new stuff, just the hits. It's like that's kind of my impression of Mego. Is like they had these big hits and then all the other stuff they did.
Or Incredible Hulk at the bottom there looks like he could use a few hot dinners to bulk himself up a bit.
The Hulk was a very iconic one. I think the Batman, the Superman, the Hulk, and the Spider-Man are very iconic Megos.
Green Goblin is beautiful, I have to say. I've always liked the Green Goblin, even before I even knew what the Mego was.
He's the perfect aesthetic of actually having that weird chainmail overlay on the original Goblin costume with the little swishy cap that goes off to the side, like Papa Smurf style. And he's got his little man bag, like Jerry Seinfeld style. And there's got his Iron Sheik pointed boots. It's a perfect figure representation of like the 60s, 70s Green Goblin that actually, like, no figure has ever bettered that for being a mix of plastic and cloth goods.
So these all come under, going by their description here, these are described as, Mego's world's greatest superheroes. So we're not making the distinction between Marvel and DC. It's just superheroes, world greatest superheroes.
I like the penguins doing a lunge. I was doing a lunge.
Yes.
In the swimming and at the gym, I get me thinking I do a bit of a lunge trying to get me legs to not ache.
Yeah, Green Goblin's got a torn in his ankle. He's just trying to get it out there, get the hand round and pull it out.
Oh God, I've got my sciaticas playing up again.
But yeah, they just look
It's interesting.
great.
They put the
really
ladies together. We got Batgirl, Wonder Woman, Supergirl, and Catwoman. They're all like hanging out together like girls' club.
Interesting Supergirl costume there. She's kind of like wearing a blouse with the super logo
yeah,
on this, like a little badge almost.
That is an actual costume. Like that, they did go through from the 50s to the 80s. They went through a whole bunch of different Supergirl outfits. That is actually the legit outfit. It's one of the skimpier ones that preceded the
Batgirl. Batgirl looks like that helmet can be removed. It just looks big enough that it can be taken off the top of her head.
That looks like quite a bit of a chrome domus there.
Maybe it's the motorbike helmet, for an unreleased motorbike.
Yeah, it does. Actually, I've just realised, Riddler, he's in the MC Hammer video.
Yeah, and his Riddler onesie also looks really cozy as well. I like to have pajamas of that for the winter.
Yeah, that was one of the things Mego was good at. Was like you've got the cloth goods outfits, but if you've got like a Spider-Man or a Riddler, it's a one piece, like a jumpsuit or Devo, or you got the overalls when you're going to see the mechanic. They were really good at doing those one piece sort of outfits.
Both versions of the Joker that we see here as well have really well fitted outfits. Like they look pretty cool. I'm assuming that these fist fighting figures at the bottom are using the same gimmick as the Muhammad Ali we looked at earlier, maybe, where they can do punching.
I would assume so. Like I don't know one way or another. I do like the Joker. He's definitely the updated 70s Joker because he wasn't around for a long time with the Batman comics and then he came back sporadically. But he's definitely that 70s run with that kind of the thin face jaw, the zoot suit, right looking suit, and the pinstripes and all that. It's nice that they got the updated Joker, which carried over into the 80s for the Kenneth Superpowers Joker as well. Falcon's got his nice little armpit sort of wings. Tarzan's got his like generic suit, but he just looks like he could be Steve Austin or anyone. I mean, $6 Million Man, Steve Austin, not Austin 360. He could be anyone just to that leotard, which is weird because like it's I don't know. Tarzan's got loads of different comics and royalties and different whatevers. But he looks kind of funny next to the old Hulk, and his like pants that come up just slightly too high.
He definitely sticks out. You know, compared to the other ones. I'm sure there was still a beloved figure of Mania Child back in the day.
If you like Mego and like Tarzan, yeah, for sure, is it a good pickup. But it's just so random. It's just like, here's a bunch of Marvel superheroes, and then here's Tarzan. We also had Conan and other guys we had licenses for a while.
Although just love seeing these two worlds collide.
Yeah,
some vehicles.
So winding up the end of the catalog, we've got some more like kind of vehicles, and these kind of chibi, smaller style vehicles. You wouldn't say they're to scale. I mean, check out Batman and Robin and the Batmobile there. If you thought any of the Mattel McFarlane ones were quite to scale, look at the scale going on there. They're definitely there for fun. They're not meant to be accurate representations. Over on the right page, we've got the VW Ninja Turtles April News Van Ninja Turtle combi sort of thing, but it's for Batman. I don't know when that happened in the comics or the Adam West TV show, but it's here in this catalog.
They look like they would be a good size for fitting some modern figures, the vans. Because if you can fit like a Mego figure in the driver's seat, then it's
they're definitely nice vehicles. But maybe they had some kind of license or tie-in with VW. It doesn't mention it here, but they're clearly VW combi vans because you've got the Batman one with a crane thing, and then you've got a Joker one. But usually you've got Batmobile. Sometimes you get a Joker mobile in the different lines. So it's kind of random seeing this like obviously, but it was a big iconic vehicle of the era, though. I have slept in a VW combi van many times at my friend's house.
The Bat-Cycle is the best scaled vehicle, probably.
Yeah, that looks nice.
Look like,
I've got a little die-cast one that's so small, and you can there's no figure on it, but I have the Mega Bloks Bebop and Rocksteady, and I actually put them on the little Bat-Cycle, those die-casts, and they fit perfectly on it. It was like Bebop and Rocksteady on the Bat-Cycle.
Nice. Yeah, there's a charm to them. You know, there's just something cool. I just love all the.
Oh, they're all quality. I'm nitpicking just how kind of odd they are, but they're all quality vehicles and all cool.
Yeah, they just say fun.
Except for the Batcopter. The Batcopter looks like something you go to the amusement park, and that's like the amusement park version of the Batcopter. It looks nothing like the fucking Batcopter.
Sit in it with your friend and go round in circles or whatever.
I mean, the actual Batcopter was just a real helicopter with a bit of body kit and spray paint colors on it.
Yeah. No, it definitely works. These are nice. This assortment is so nice. They actually saved it to have its own page, because the other ones you're looking at, I think we looked at assortments 1, 2, and 3, and they were all put onto one page. But for assortment 4,
it's got new. Like this is our new stuff for the end of the catalog, which is funny because going by the Turtles catalogs, the new stuff will be at the front. Whereas this is the very last page of the catalog.
Yeah, that's right. Playmates tend to front load all the new stuff, and then as you go through it, you go back in time almost.
Yeah, there's the repeats.
That four is a really
Fantastic Four, but the Fantastic Four here is apparently made of Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Girl, Conan, and Thor, and then up on the annex is Human Torch and Thing.
Yeah, it's the sensational SYXX here, as they were known at the time.
I do like
Thor and Conan.
I like that Thor has the kind of I don't know if it has like any chrome or whatnot or paint, but the helmet looks excellent. He is very skinny because he's on that Mego body. He's not any more buff than the Invisible Woman. And Conan has that salon hair again, which is kind of hilarious and like it's almost like iconic now for being Mego Conan with that hair is just like so over the top. And Thing also is very iconic with him and Torch both have the same Spider-Man bodysuit. It's the bodysuit where it's got painted on details, but it's so iconic with Mego. It's become its own thing. It's gone from kitsch to cool to kitsch back around to cool again, I think.
Like the weapons that Conan come with look very nicely sculpted as well. They did a good job there. Yeah, did I axe you? And even though the designs are wacky on these vehicles, at least they're better scales than the previous vehicles.
That axe is almost a bat symbol. That's how silhouetted it is. And you got the Captain America vehicle with the crazy shield launching out the front. The Green Arrow car, which is just clearly like I don't know, reskin of the Captain America Spider-Man thing. You got Spider Car, which is funny to me because it's not the Spider-Mobile. In like 70s, you had Spider-Mobile, which was just like a kind of beach buggy thing. It was almost like comedy thing because Spider-Man, swings around New York in webs. And what do you do when there's no webs? You go to town and you've got to drive Spider-Mobile. But we've got Spider Car. It's just a very generic thing that doesn't even look like a car. It's almost the equivalent of what we're getting now. Well, 90s, 2000s. You'd get Spider-Man on a bike, Batman on a bike, any character on a bike, and the molded position where he doesn't move, except it's the actual articulated figure in the vehicle.
Captain America's one at least has a good name. The AmeriCar. That's a good name for a vehicle.
I feel like that vehicle, you could put that in those, was it 80s or 90s, the live action first Captain America movies that were like really bad. They're just awful, like TV movies. I feel like you could put that vehicle in there instead of the bike and nobody would care. They wouldn't know the difference in the film.
That are different year stamps as well. So it's 1975 for the Fantastic Four, but 1976 for the cars. So interesting years of copyright here.
Is it a comic book copyright or is it a toy copyright?
Yes, you would wonder. You would wonder, definitely.
That's a Gojitron question.
Yeah.
We're after you, Gojitron. Copyright stamps every year. Multiple comments. He's like, fuck off, John. I've got things to do. I've got videos to make about horror movies in October. Leave me alone.
We need your knowledge and your insight, Gojitron.
We need your knowledge. We need your power. Gojitron, super upscale kaiju attack now.
Save us in our darkest hour.
Save us in our darkest hour, Gojitron. But yeah, basically, that's our show for this week. Looking at some cool catalog stuff. We've had technical difficulties. We've been away for a few weeks unintended, but we've got plenty more cool stuff on the way. We've got some more comic book talks coming up. We're talking about some Tintin or Tonton, if you like, some Asterix, some Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, any of the mans, any of the guys or the mans or the ladies or the mans, any of those. Going into December, January, probably doing some more wrestling talks through December, January. Probably a big video game focus, doing some Resident Evil toys and video games, and a bunch of other video game stuff we'll be getting into. Plenty more topics on the way.
Oh, it's all to come. It's all to come. We got some good stuff coming down the track. We won't let those gremlins upset us and, they can fuck with our electricity. They can fucking put updates on our laptops that we don't want. They can fuck around all they like, but we'll always fight back and we'll always come back.
Those are all actual things that happen. I just say it was kaiju attacks in both our countries. That's what caused the chaos.
Our shareholders demand value for their investment, so we're going to be here for a long time. Do the show at gunpoint if necessary in order to appease the shareholders. The ratings must remain up, or we're going down.
That is true.
Yeah, I like them. I like looking at these Megos, these Megos. Maybe I'm going to start a trend.
Mego
pronunciation.
Mego Mega Power.
And you did though. You picked up a few modern.
Oh yes, thank you for reminding me, because I'm about to hit the end video. I picked up these ones. We've got the werewolf Dracula who glows in the dark. Don't ask me which version, just generic Dracula. The Rocketeer, Lon Chaney Phantom of the Opera, as opposed to generic Dracula. Teen Wolf, The Fly, Frankenstein is the original Frankenstein. These have been out for several years. These are the modern Megos. The site I buy stuff from regularly had them on sale for half price or less. And I was like, fuck it, I got to get some of these. And it wasn't even for the show. I bought these. The show was going to be on nearly a month ago originally. I bought these after the fact, and then they turned up just like 2 days ago. We got original first series Kirk with the old green outfit, Spock in the blue, Gorn with his nice reflecty gold outfit, Hendrix, who I will be displaying on my pegboard next to Bruce Lee, because they're both good 70s icons. Ultraman's got nice one-piece outfit like Spider-Man with the little silver bits. And then we've got Willy Wonka, Gene Wilder style. One of my all-time favorite movies as a kid was the Willy Wonka. In fact, probably next year we could easily do a talk on that movie and Gene Wilder in general. I do have the Playmobil Willy Wonka, which is based on him also, but looks kind of generic. This one looks awesome. Great face, great background, great everything. But like Wonka, Bruce Lee, Hendrix, Ultraman, Track, I was like, oh, shit. How can I not grab these half price?
Yeah, you had to do it. We've all been there. Sometimes the deal is just too good to resist.
I'm going to chuck up Teen Wolf next to Wolfman, who is flocked. He's flocked like old Panther.
Yeah, he's flocked. He's ready for winter. He's warm and cozy.
Yeah. And I bought this to play on my little mini pegboard and on the wall. I don't intend to open them. They are awesome if you do open them. They're really good figures. But they don't really fit my shelves too well, whereas displaying on the wall look absolutely awesome with the card backs. And that way they remind me of like Super 7 reaction stuff, except that they're better than that, and a lot of reaction stuff is garbage. Some are okay. I bought a few, but like a lot of them are crap.
I do know we'll reference him once again. I'm pretty sure our good buddy Gojitron has picked up like custom. He's got custom Mego boxes, so I think he can buy like a modern Mego, but put it in an old style cardboard box, which is pretty cool, you know. So.
Yeah, I guess that's something I didn't sort of mention also before we finish up. Is like they had the awesome head sculpts. You've got fairly basic articulation, almost like inspired by the old 12-inch G.I. Joe. It's not as much as that, but it's that kind of inspiration as opposed to a Barbie doll. It's very static. You've got really fantastic cloth goods, and then these are modern ones, but like the vintage ones, which also had larger upscale 10, 12-inch Megos as well. You had really fantastic presentation with the artwork and the card backs and the logos. It all sort of comes together. So whether you're having loose ones for display or carded figures, Megos are just like fantastic all around, in my opinion.
Yeah, and look, I'm trying to think. I think I have possibly one, like it's like a modern re-release of like a Planet of the Apes figure, and maybe I have like one Star Trek Romulan. But other than that, I've actually nothing Mego related though. But who knows? As time goes on, you never know what would tickle my fancy in the future. Definitely looking at this catalog made me desire some pieces that I hadn't previously thought about. So that's how easily influenced I am. What can I say?
Well, I'm going to finish with my intro as an outro that I kind of stuffed up because of issues. So it went like this. It went, ladies and gentlemen, freaks and geeks, it's the weekly treat that'll knock you off your seat. That's the groove. That's the show. Your weekly blast from Boba Joe.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Preach.
Great.